All right, guys, in this video, we're going to dive into why I think the price has been kind of bearish, more so than we're expecting. As you can see, comparatively, we've been lower than where we typically would be at this point in the cycle. So we're going to talk about this and why that is in this video. So let's dive in. And also, guys, quick reminder, Black Friday, these are the lowest prices of the year, only happens during Black Friday season. So take advantage. Love to see you guys in the room. All right, let's dive into this video.
Trade Genius.
All right, like I promised you, I wanted to talk about why I thought the price cycle has been suppressed. I came across an interesting post by @ErgoBTC. Give him a follow if you want to dive into his work. Essentially what he did was he looked at the plus token scam. Okay, so if you're not familiar with this, very gigantic Ponzi scheme in China. They somehow amassed 200,000 BTC, or roughly 200,000. And this was circulating a while back on Twitter. So he did some work as far as basically looking at the wallets, making sure that it made sense as far as the amounts and things like that. So I'm not going to bother you with a lot of technical stuff here. You're more than welcome to check out his thread. But what he did was he basically confirmed that there's a lot of coins that stem from the known wallets of the plus token scam. So what he did is he basically analyzed all these wallets, right? And then he looked, what they were doing is they were shuffling the coins or washing the coins to the Wasabi wallet. They have a function there, basically scrubs the coins and kind of eliminates the history, makes it hard or next to impossible to figure out where they came from, right? So they would wash them and then they would send them to the exchanges so that the exchanges couldn't basically blacklist the tokens, right? And so basically what happens is we have, they send their amounts to the mixers and then the mixers to the exchanges and they sell in the exchanges. Currently, there's 58,423 out of the known amounts that are attributed to the plus token scam that are still unmixed. So that still is, we would assume, are yet to be dumped onto the market. All right, jumping down to this post. So basically, all the mixed coins, 129,000 BTC accounted for so far, have been sold over a period from early August through today, which gives an average of about 1,300 BTC sold per day. Now we have 1,800 BTC that are produced via block rewards every day because of the current reward of 12.5 BTC per block. That's a huge percentage of the block reward added on to the daily supply. So there's a lot more in the daily supply if you calculate this into the mix than models are anticipating. So where we would think we'd be grinding higher now, into Q4, making higher lows. We're not seeing that. We're seeing more of like a dumping effect like we saw from the old 20K highs. It's almost like the 14K highs are a smaller macro fractal version of what the 20K to 3K dump was. So if we jump down to this post, going forward, we can use the daily sell estimates and the roughly 58,000 BTC unmixed total to estimate the duration of the remaining selling at between 1.5 and 2 months. You know, assuming that you're just averaging out that balance equally until it's done per day. And we can kind of see that it's not following the normal market cycles because normally, like I pointed out with you, in the Fib multiplier bands do a good job of showing us, you know, what we typically see in cycles as far as the measurement of the 50 period weekly moving average multiplied by Fibonacci levels. And normally we would come back and we'd hold this green line level. That's normal market cycle expectations around the, you know, you'd see some gyrations around the $8,500 level. But, you know, we've come back, we've touched now again the 50 period weekly moving average. And you usually don't see this at this point in the cycle typically because that's matches up what we see here, matches up with what we see here. So this is the weakest one by far. So I do think it does make some sense that this dumping of this extra token supply that was concentrated, 200,000 concentrated BTC is being dumped onto the market. I think that does make sense that we're seeing typically weaker behavior than we're used to ahead of the halving. Now, if we look at the cycle repeat chart, so this is going to look at how our current cycle is comparing to previous cycles, right? As far as our proximity to halving and things like that. You'll notice August was when the scam was busted. And you'll notice that we were going down with the model, seemed about right. But instead of like leveling out and starting to make a series of higher lows, we continue to dump. In fact, we dumped right where we should have been consolidating, and we've continued to come down lower. We see periods where we get these kind of like catch-up move, but we're not making higher lows and higher highs. And we're deviating more from the expected behavior in this cycle. So this graph does a good job of showing us how it compares. And again, I think it does a good job of graphically showing how the extra supply is messing up the expected cycle behavior. So there's where I think part of the problem lies in the weak price behavior as we head into Q4. And remember, we showed you we usually don't have back-to-back Q4s year over year that are red. And that's what we're seeing currently. Now, that may change. We have still to the end of December for it to be a green quarter. But it's unusual that we're seeing this kind of weakness. And I think this is a very plausible explanation as to why. So if so, and the behavior continues of the washing the coins and sending it to the Huobi exchange, then we could probably expect to see another month and a half of where we don't see higher highs essentially, and either chop or slightly lower, and then get back to more expected cycle behavior and start grinding up into the actual halving date in May 2020. So hope that helps. Please hit like and subscribe. Helps out our channel, helps us keep sending you videos every day. And I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Trade Genius.